Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Tosif here. I'm back with another live stream. This is Sunday afternoon, and it's not my regular live stream time, but I have some thoughts that I want to share, so I decided to do this live stream. And anyone who's joining me live, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting my channel. And I know that after the live stream is over, other viewers can watch this on my channel as replay. And so there's a lot going on right now in American politics. The November 2024 election is coming up. Time is moving very fast, or so it seems. We are in the second half of August. And we're not that far away from November 2024, the first week of November, when the presidential election will be taking place. And so as we approach the November 2024 election, I have some thoughts this afternoon that I want to share. And, let me begin by saying that Donald Trump, is calling Kamala Harris Comrade Kamala. You may have seen this in the news already. I'm not sure if you've seen it or not. I'm guessing you have. If you're like me and you're paying attention to what's going on in the world of politics. Now, why is Donald Trump calling Kamala Harris Comrade Kamala? That is the question that comes up. I'm going to tell you the reason. The reason is Kamala Harris's economic policies. Kamala Harris reportedly wants to implement price controls. Price controls. It's not a good policy, price controls. I mean, it's a horrible policy. We are a free market economy. And Kamala Harris is suggesting that there might be price controls. That's what she's proposing. The term price controls refers to a minimum or a maximum price that the government sets for a certain product or certain goods. A minimum price set would be known as a price floor, and a maximum price set by the government would be called a price ceiling. I see a question here from a viewer who asks, wait, are you pro-Trump or Kamala? Well, I am a conservative. I'm a Republican. So I'm going to vote for Trump 2024. What about you? Let me ask the viewer who just asked me the question. Are you pro-Trump or pro-Kamala Harris? You can answer. Let me know. By the way, I do pay attention to the chat window as I'm speaking. So if you have questions, if you have comments, you can let me know. The viewer writes, Trump 2024. Wonderful. I voted for Trump in 2016. I voted for Trump in 2020. And I'm looking forward to voting for Trump in 2024. So thank you for being here for the live stream. I appreciate your question. And please don't forget to subscribe, okay? Stay in touch with me by being a subscriber, so you'll get notifications about all my videos and live streams. Okay, so let me get back to the discussion. By the way, others, if you have questions, please write those questions in the chat window, and I'm going to do my best to answer. So as I was saying, price controls, that's what Kamala Harris wants to implement. So to fight inflation, the Democrats, and in this case Kamala Harris in particular, may decide to set a price ceiling and basically say that the price of this product must not exceed the set ceiling. So that's an example of price controls. Okay? But here's the reality. Here's the reality. Price controls don't work. Price controls don't work. Just read history. Read history. Read the history of price controls. Look at the places where price controls were implemented, and you'll know that price controls don't work. But that is what Kamala Harris is trying to do. To fight inflation, she wants to have price controls. By the way, this inflation that we're suffering from as Americans, this is the result of Democrat policies. I'm going to get to that. But let me just tell you, price controls lead to shortages. Shortages lead to rationing. And then quality of products may fall. And none of these are desirable. None of these are desirable. As a viewer just wrote, all it will do is cause another depression. I mean, this is a very critical moment in American history. Where do we go from here? That's the question. If Kamala Harris implements price controls, then our economy is going to be destroyed. The Democrats have already done significant damage to our economy. And price controls will just make things exponentially worse. Exponentially worse. And then if we follow the route that Donald Trump would show us, if he becomes the president, then I think stability will come back to the economy. That's what I believe. So as I was saying, price controls lead to shortages. Shortages lead to rationing. And then price controls also result in the quality of products falling. And none of these are desirable. And these are all problems that could be caused by price controls. If the Democrats implement price controls, we're going to see shortages and rationing and falling quality of products. I mean, that's going to be a massive problem on top of all the other problems that we have already. And then illegal market for goods and services may also emerge. Price controls may result in illegal activity. People may try to bypass price controls by engaging in illegal trade and transactions, black market problems. These problems may occur if price controls are implemented. So price controls don't work. As I said, just read history, because if you read history, you'll know that price controls lead to many problems. Let me look at some comments here. A viewer writes, Donald Trump is the best. Well, I'm looking forward to voting for Donald Trump, as I've already said. I voted for Trump in 2016 and in 2020, and I'm looking forward to voting for Trump in 2024. Also, let me move forward with the discussion. We do want to fight inflation. Inflation is a huge problem. We want to fight inflation. But fighting inflation, combating inflation requires fiscal discipline. It requires sound economic policies. Price controls don't work. The free market is a beautiful thing. If we want a stable economy, we must allow the free market to work. We must allow the free market to work. But the Democrats have a history of interfering with the market, with the free market. Just think about the automobile market. That's a prominent example. The Democrats push consumers towards electric vehicles. And they imposed tougher and tougher regulations on gas-powered vehicles. So the Democrats, they clearly favor one kind of product over another. The Democrats favor the electric vehicles over gas-powered vehicles. The same in the case of gas-powered appliances. The Democrats favor electric appliances over gas-powered appliances. The Democrats, they are not shy about interfering with the free market. Now, I don't have any problem with electric vehicles. I don't have any problem with gas-powered vehicles. I just want the consumers, the American consumers, to be able to decide what kind of vehicle they want. A consumer must be able to choose what kind of vehicle the consumer wants without any kind of interference from the government. But if the government shapes incentives in a way that pushes people, shapes incentives in a way that would push people towards electric vehicles and discourage buying gas-powered vehicles, that basically means that the government is interfering with the private market. I believe in the free market. I believe that consumers should be able to buy whatever they want. If I'm a consumer, I know what kind of vehicle I want. Do I want a sedan? Do I want an SUV? Do I want a truck? If I want a sedan, do I want a full-size sedan or a compact sedan, mid-size sedan? Do I want a gas-powered sedan? Do I want an electric vehicle? Do I want a hybrid vehicle? The consumer should be able to make that decision. But we're seeing that the Democrats push people towards electric vehicles. Now, like I said, I don't have problems with electric vehicles. I think the electric vehicles I see out on the roads are beautiful. I have friends who drive electric vehicles. They love electric vehicles. But the government should stay out of, the market. The government should not interfere. If the government's pushing people towards electric vehicles and imposing tougher and tougher regulations on gas-powered vehicles, that's just wrong. That's equivalent to favoring one kind of product over another. And so this is an example of how the Democrats, shape incentives. They push people towards the kind of products that they prefer, that the Democrats prefer. Let me see some comments here. Okay. Thanks to all those who joined. I appreciate you all being here. And if you want to stay connected with me, please subscribe to my channel so that you get notifications whenever I'm doing live streams or whenever I upload a new video. Not only do I do live streams, but I also upload video versions of my podcast episodes. I upload short videos called shorts, YouTube shorts. I do that. And also what I'm going to do for anyone who's new here, for anyone who has not watched my videos before, I just did that. I put my website address there, tosifanam.net. If you go to my website, you can read more about me. You can read my published opinions. You can read my blog posts, and you can check out my podcast too, okay? So go and check out my website, tosifanam.net. Tosif is my first name, Anam is my last name, tosifanam.net. Please check out the website. And once you're on my website, you can also sign up for my e-newsletter, and you can send me messages too. So Mary writes, are you going to have any giveaways? I'm not planning any giveaways right now, Mary. But thank you for asking. But please do subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. That's the way you can support my channel, is by subscribing and sharing my videos with your friends, your neighbors, and your family members. Um, I believe in exchange of information. I believe in having a dialogue. I believe in sharing ideas. I believe in exercising the First Amendment right to free speech. And so not only do I want to express what's on my mind, but I also want to hear from my viewers what they are thinking. And so um, please subscribe and stay in touch with me. I would appreciate that. George writes, no regulations on pollution in water or air. George, I am not against regulations. I believe that regulations are important, regulations are necessary, but if you add regulations after regulations, layers and layers of regulations, then at some point, we get to the territory of overregulation. You don't want to overregulate the market or an industry. Regulations are important. You're talking about air and water. We all want clean water. We all want clean air. We all want a nice environment. And so we need regulations. But if you just keep adding regulations after regulations after regulations, then, it becomes over-regulating. So over-regulation is bad. And law of diminishing returns, as you are adding regulations, maybe the society gets benefits from those regulations, but at some point you reach a peak, and beyond that, if you're adding more regulations, you get diminishing returns. And so regulations are important, but it's not over regulations. And what I'm really trying to say here also is that we should allow the free market to work. Manufacturers, they make different kinds of products. They offer those products at different prices. And then the consumers decide what to buy. The consumer may choose to buy electric vehicle or gas-powered vehicle or a hybrid vehicle. And there, even among electric vehicles, there are different brands. Gas-powered vehicles, there are different brands, different sizes. Hybrid vehicles, different brands, different sizes. And obviously, the consumers get to find out which product is good, which one's not. And also the companies offer different services, different warranties. And so if a manufacturer is not producing a good product or is not providing good service, then the consumers won't buy that product anymore, right? So there's competition in the market. If you allow the free market to work, there's going to be competition. The different automobile producers are going to try to produce the best product, offer competitive prices, and provide great customer service. And so companies that can't keep up with the competition, they are going to go out of business, or they are going to have to try to improve the way they do business or improve the quality of their products. I mean, that's how the free market works. But over here, we're seeing that the Democrats clearly, they're trying to push consumers towards electric vehicles and discouraging the purchase of gas-powered vehicles. That's just wrong. Same in the case of appliances, okay? Now, in my residence where I live, in my apartment, a lot of my appliances are electric appliances. Okay, my stove is electric. My microwave, everything is electric. Okay, in my apartment, but I'm not gonna say that gas-powered appliances are bad. My friends have gas-powered appliances and they love it. They love it. And so I just want, and maybe when I purchase a house, I'm not a homeowner. Maybe when I purchase a house, maybe in that house, when I get to decide what kind of appliances to put, maybe I'll buy gas powered, gas appliances, Okay. I may have a gas stove. Uh, and so I don't want the government interfering with the market. I don't want the government dictating what kind of products people should choose. And I just want the free market to operate freely. George writes, George, are you supporting Kamala? Is that what you're writing? You wrote 2025, not 2024. That's why I'm asking. Okay, so let me get back to what I was saying. The Democrats have a history of interfering with the free market, as I just stated in details. And combine that with the Washington Democrats, the Washington, D.C. Democrats, who support reckless government spending. So the Democrat administration in power interfering with the free market, the Biden-Harris administration interfered with the free market, combined with the Washington, D.C. Democrats supporting reckless government spending. And as a result of all that, we now have an unstable economy. There are high prices, and we are seeing supply chain disruptions, okay? The middle class and the lower income Americans are suffering as a result. So the Democrat policies have caused inflation, and so middle class Americans and lower income Americans, they are suffering as a result. Now, do you remember that the Democrats passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which is just a horrible, horrible name, Inflation Reduction Act, because Inflation Reduction Act did not reduce inflation. Absolutely deceptive name for a piece of legislation. Absolutely deceptive name. By the way, my friends, as you are joining this live stream, would you just state what city, what state you're from? I just like to know where my viewers are tuning in from. So you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you would just write, the city and the state that you're from. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. I don't know if there's anyone who's watching this video right now live who's from Wisconsin. I live in Wisconsin, in the city of Madison, which is the capital of Wisconsin. George writes, Kamala's term starts January 2025. George, well, Kamala's term is not yet decided, right? I mean, the election has not taken place. So January 2025, we don't know who's going to be sworn in as president. Is it going to be Kamala? Is it going to be Trump? We don't know that yet, right? Now, George, I understand you're supporting Kamala. That's okay. We're free to support whoever we want. And I just appreciate that you have tuned into my live stream and that you're commenting and sharing your thoughts, because I don't want this channel to be a channel that only conservatives watch. I also welcome liberals, people who support Kamala, people who support Biden. I just want this to be an open forum. I want people, regardless of their political views, to tune in and to watch my videos. And you don't have to agree with me. You can disagree with me all the time. Doesn't matter. Because I want people to be able to share their thoughts and opinions, okay? And so feel free to disagree with me. And if you agree with me, great. If you don't, that's great too. And if you think I'm wrong, tell me why you think I'm wrong, and I'll try to respond. Ask me questions, I'll try to answer. But you'll also hear from me about what my views and opinions are. So George is from Southern Oregon coast. Okay, I see that. Southern Oregon coast. Okay, let me make sure I'm able to read the comments here. Southern Oregon coast. Okay. Well, George, thank you for tuning in. I hope the weather is nice where you are. Uh, we have beautiful weather here in Madison, Wisconsin. Um, most of the year we have to deal with the cold weather, but that's okay. Right now, the weather is very, very nice. It's pretty good. We're approaching autumn here very soon, so it's going to be a little chilly again. But um, everything's going well. So George, right? Stock market is at all-time high. Um, yeah, I mean the stock market has fluctuated quite a bit recently. I think I don't I do pay attention to the stock market, but not every single day. I know I have friends who are always, you know, uh, paying attention to the stock market and they are studying the trends and, they are analysts. But I just, I just see I just check in from time to time. I just see how the stock market is doing because obviously I want to be an informed individual. So I have to try to pay attention to all kinds of economic indicators and various economic factors, right? So George, thank you for continuing to comment. Um, Let me just see one thing here. All right. So as I was saying, the Democrats have passed this horrible Inflation Reduction Act. It's an absolutely deceptive name, Inflation Reduction Act, because it did not do anything to address inflation issues. Inflation is a huge problem that American households and businesses are facing. But the Inflation Reduction Act has not done anything to reduce inflation. Okay, it's a deceptive name, Inflation Reduction Act. Did not reduce inflation. And now Kamala Harris is suggesting price controls to reduce inflation. So someone should ask Kamala Harris about the Inflation Reduction Act and why it did not reduce inflation. She wants to reduce inflation. She's suggesting price controls. But what about the Inflation Reduction Act that the Democrats had said would be great for the country? Did that reduce inflation? The answer is no. Colin just tuned in. Colin writes, "Happy Sunday. Great to see you." Great to see you, Colin. Thank you for tuning in. This is not my usual live stream time, but I had some thoughts I wanted to share, so I just decided to tune in. George is writing, inflation is going down. Well, George, we as consumers across the country, when we go to the grocery store, we know whether inflation is going down or not. People remember 2017 and 2018 and 2019. We remember the gas price back then. We remember right here in Wisconsin, gas was less than $2 per gallon. Now, it's way over $3 per gallon. A few days ago, it was 3.5 or so. I'm just trying to not, mention all the digits after the decimal sign. So it was like 3.59 or something. It was 3.49. Gas shouldn't be this high. Now, the Democrats, what they try to do, George, and I know this from the conversations I've had and from the interactions I've had, gas price, with Biden in office, gas price had gone up to $5 per gallon here in Wisconsin from under $2 per gallon. Gas price, under $2 per gallon when Trump was in office. After Biden came to power, gas price had increased to $5 per gallon here in Wisconsin. So the Democrats, they take that as a benchmark, and after gas price comes down to $3.5 per gallon, the Democrats would say, oh, see how much the inflation has come down. It was $5 per gallon, and now we're down to 3.5. But the reality, George, is that gas used to be around $2 per gallon here in Wisconsin. Okay? I mean, I'm not saying it's always going to be under $2 per gallon because the prices will fluctuate throughout the year. You know, winter years, summer years, the prices vary. But even if you say 2.2 or 2.3 or $2.1 per gallon, now it's 3.5. It's hovering around 3.5. And the Democrats would claim victory and say, oh, you know, inflation's going down, gas prices are going down, because they use $5 or $4.5 as the benchmark. But I am thinking about the gas price, the prices when Trump was in office. I'm thinking about 1.9 or $2 or 2.1, 2.2, $2.3 per gallon. So, I mean, it's easy to say inflation is going down, but that does not give you the complete picture, George. Similarly, I mean, I go grocery shopping just like so many other Americans around the country, and I can see the prices may have come down a little bit in some cases, but that's not true for all the products. So, you know, a pot of jam, strawberry preserves that I used to buy for $4.50 went up to $7, and now it has come down to $6. And somebody might say, oh, see, prices are coming down. But it's still not down to $4. It's not even down to, it's not down to $4.5. It's not even down to $5. It went from 4.5 to 7, and then it came down to $6. Now, should I be happy because of that? You know, it needs to come down to $5. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to have to come down to $4.5 because, prices in general would go up over the years at a steady pace. Let's say it comes down to $5. That would make me happy, but it's not. It's still 6, up from 4.5. So, that's my thought. So, Inflation Reduction Act did not reduce inflation. So Kamala says she'll do this and she'll do that she's going to fix all the problems. She's going to fix all the problems. Well, if she has the solutions to the problems, why did she not fix the problems all these years? Because it is the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration that created the problems in partnership with the Washington, D.C. Democrats. So Colin is writing, win-lose situation for me. Let me read your comment, Colin. So, Colin, you're mentioning the real estate market also. You're referring to real estate in your comment, Colin. Now, Colin, I'll tell you that, yes, real estate prices have gone up. I mean, the prices that I'm looking at in my neighborhood, like within let's say within a 2-mile radius of where I live, a house that used to be, let's say, $500,000 is now more than, $650,000, $650,000. Now, maybe the person who owns the home thinks, all right, my house is now, has increased in value, but what about the cost of repairs? What about your insurance premiums? Everything's gone up. Everything's gone up. So, like some months ago when I got the renewal notice from my auto insurance company, I saw that my auto insurance premiums went up significantly. Significantly. I did not file any claim in years, but the premium went up significantly. I've talked to a few agents, and what I learned is that cost of repairs went up. It's hard to find parts. Labor is now more expensive. As a result, the premiums have gone up. Wasn't my fault, but the premiums went up. And so the other thing, Colin, I'll mention about the real estate market. I talk to young professionals, people in their 20s and even early 30s. I'm in my 30s. I'm not a homeowner yet. I talk to young professionals and they tell me that they feel like home ownership is out of reach. Home ownership is out of reach. People who worked hard to save money for down payment, they worked hard and they prepared themselves for home ownership, but now they are in the market and they see that they cannot afford the houses. They cannot afford. Inventory is low, and even if somebody has everything lined up, down payment ready to go, approved for mortgage, they are still, because of low inventory, maybe they make an offer and somebody puts a higher offer and maybe multiple offers, and that's how a lot of people, they just keep going from one house to another trying to buy a property, and they can't. And then interest rates have gone up, which has also created tremendous pain and suffering for the young professionals who are looking to buy home. So George is asking, how will Trump fix this? Well, George, let me tell you, the kind of mess that we are in right now as a country, the messy situation with the economy, it's going to be very difficult to fix. But we have to start going in the right direction. Right now, we're not heading in the right direction because the Democrats are still in charge and they are mismanaging the economy. The Biden-Harris administration. With Trump, I think the consumers, they will once again be confident in the economy. Right now, we don't have a pro-business administration. The Biden-Harris administration, they are all about more regulations, over-regulations, increasing taxes, and, doing things that discourage businesses, that discourage starting small businesses, that discourage investment. I have, like here in Wisconsin, and I'm speaking from my experience, I have seen many businesses open up or do expansions, hire more people during the Trump years. And then after Biden came on board with the COVID mandates and the lockdowns and the shutdowns and all the talks about increasing taxes, that made a lot of employers, a lot of business people very worried. They were afraid to expand. They were afraid to hire more people. They were afraid to take decisions to expand their businesses because the Biden-Harris administration and their messages made people worried about the business climate. The Biden-Harris team, they want to raise taxes. Raise taxes on people. How is that helping? That doesn't help. We need to lower taxes. We need to allow people to keep more of their hard-earned money at the state level, at the federal level. We need to lower taxes, not increase them. So, if Trump is back in office, I think Trump's going to do things that are pro-American worker. I think if Trump is back in office, businesses will once again have the confidence to expand and to invest and to grow and to hire more people. And when businesses will succeed, the American people will succeed, our supply chain will be stronger. And if Trump tries to lower taxes, that's going to help our economy. So there's going to be renewed confidence if Trump is back in office. Now, it's not going to be an easy path forward after all the damage that the Biden-Harris administration has done to this economy, but at least we will be heading in the right direction with Trump. Jason Buckholt writes, hi. Hello, Jason. Thank you for tuning in. Is this your first time watching my video? If it is, please subscribe and stay connected with me. I would appreciate that very much. So, George, I see that you're not agreeing with me, and I understand that's okay. Please share your thoughts, and you don't have to agree with me. Like I said, people are free to express their disagreements. So if you don't agree with me, that's okay. Feel free to write whatever your thoughts are, and I'll read your thoughts. And I'm going to move forward with the discussion. So price controls are going to hurt. Price controls will hurt our economy. If Kamala Harris succeeds in implementing price controls, that would hurt. And so Kamala says she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to fix all the problems. My question is, if she knows the solutions to the problems, by the way, these are problems that the Biden-Harris administration caused, but if Kamala Harris thinks she has the solutions to the problems, then why did she not fix the problems in all these years? Why is she now trying to make the case that she has the solutions and she's going to fix the problems? Well, she's just trying to get elected. She's already in office. She's already in office as the vice president, and she wants to be the president. I think people understand that. So Kamala Harris seems to be pushing our country towards communism. We are a free country, and the Biden-Harris administration has increased the government's footprint in our lives. Government tries to interfere with each and every aspect of our lives. And now Kamala Harris wants to leap forward and take our country towards a full communist mode. That's why Trump is calling her Comrade Kamala. And that's why it is very important to reject the Kamala Harris-Tim Walz ticket this November. Trump must win Pennsylvania to win the White House. Now I'm going into a different discussion here. Let me emphasize again, it is important for the American people to reject the Kamala Walz ticket this November. Now, how can Trump win? In order to win the presidential election, Trump must win Pennsylvania. It is a big battleground state with 19 electoral college votes. And I previously talked about Wisconsin and that Trump needs to win Wisconsin, which is my state. That's where I live. But Trump must also win Pennsylvania. The future of our country is at stake. Now, I looked at Real Clear polling, and the RCP average puts both Trump and Harris at 47.9% in Pennsylvania. 47.9%, both of them, Trump and Harris. So it's a tie. Individually, the results vary by the polls. Emerson poll puts Trump at 49% and Harris at 48%. So Trump is leading. Quinnipiac poll puts Trump at 47% and Harris at 50%. So Harris is leading. New York Times poll puts Trump at 46% and Harris at 50%. So Harris is leading. Trafalgar poll puts Trump at 46% and Harris at 44%. So Trump is leading. So the results are mixed depending on what poll you're looking at. Expect both Trump and Harris campaigns to spend a lot of time in Pennsylvania. Between now and November, I think both the Trump campaign and the Harris campaign will spend a lot of time in Pennsylvania. I expect Trump to make appearances in Pennsylvania. I'm sure Harris will also make appearances in Pennsylvania. Not only the people at the top of the tickets, Trump and Harris, but also Vance, J.D. Vance will make appearances in Pennsylvania. Tim Walz will make appearances in Pennsylvania. And so both the campaigns are going to be spending a lot of time in Pennsylvania trying to win support from the voters. So going back to the question of the polls, how accurate the polls are. Not everyone trusts the polls. As you can see, the different polls are showing different results in the same state. So I don't know which poll is accurate. Different polls are showing different results. So not everyone trusts the polls, and yet the polls must be conducted. Some polls are more accurate than others. Some polls have a record of being accurate in most cases. And we can, I think if we want to discuss the accuracy of polls, we can talk for hours. I'm not going into that discussion now. What I will tell you is that these polls must neither make a candidate worry nor make a candidate feel relaxed and comfortable. If you are a candidate, you're running for office and you are ahead in the polls, then don't relax and don't take a break from campaigning. You don't know if you're truly ahead. You cannot trust a poll 100%. So if you are a candidate, you're running and you see that you're ahead in the polls, then don't relax and don't take a break from campaigning. Continue to work hard. Don't think, oh, I'm going to win because the polls show that I'm winning. I'm just speaking in general terms. Similarly, if you're a candidate and you're behind in the polls, don't worry. Don't lose your sleep. You may not be behind. Maybe the polls are showing you're behind, but you may not be behind. So don't worry. Continue to work hard. General advice for a candidate running for any office. Now, all the poll results, not all the poll results are published. There are polls, there are surveys and studies that are done, and the results may not be published publicly. There are internal polls that the campaigns conduct, and there are internal data that the campaigns may rely on. Delta DJ is here. Delta DJ writes Trump 2024. Delta DJ, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I also believe in Trump 2024. I'm a Trump supporter. And I'm in Battleground, Wisconsin. So Delta DJ, thank you for tuning in. George writes, North Carolina is in play. Well, George, I have seen that. I actually have seen that. I always believe that Trump's going to win North Carolina, but I have seen that some people are calling North Carolina a battleground state. And some people believe that North Carolina may not be maybe a swing. Okay. So I'm going to study North Carolina more, I think, before I comment on it. But what you're saying, North Carolina is in play. I've seen reports indicating what you're saying, that North Carolina is in play. I hope Trump wins North Carolina easily, but uh, if it's a swing state in 2024, um, I'm going to have to pay more attention to North Carolina. So I'm going to talk about that maybe in the future. So the advantage that Kamala Harris has is that she is in office right now. She may not be the incumbent president. She is not, because Joe Biden is the incumbent president. But Kamala Harris is the incumbent vice president. And so that gives her a certain advantage. Incumbents always have some advantage. So Kamala Harris has a certain advantage in this election because she is in elected office. She is the vice president right now. But Trump also has the advantage because the middle and lower income Americans remember the good days when Trump was in office. They remember the low gas prices. They remember affordable groceries. They remember low energy costs. They remember how much Trump worked to secure the southern border. So a lot of Americans, in particular middle income Americans, lower income Americans, they remember the good days when Trump was in office, how great the economy was. And now they can see how severely the economy is being hurt because of Democrat policies. And so this election could be one about rejecting the status quo, rejecting those in power in the executive branch right now. So this election could be about not voting for the Democrats. This election could be about rejecting the Biden-Harris administration and, in a way, Biden-Harris policies. This election could be about rejecting the Biden-Harris policies by not voting for the Harris-Walz presidential ticket. So people may decide, hey, you know what? The Biden-Harris administration and their policies have done significant damage to our economy, and as a result, we're going to reject the Harris-Walz presidential ticket. Don't vote for Harris-Walz. Vote for Trump-Vance. If that happens, if people decide to reject the status quo, then Trump wins. Trump wins, regardless of what the polls say. Trump wins. I hope Trump wins. I would like to see Trump in the White House. I would like to see Trump being sworn into office as the president in January of 2025. That's my hope. That's my expectation. And that's all I had to say for today. My friends, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for continuing to watch my videos. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Now, I will tell you one thing. Anyone who's new, anyone who's watching my channel for the first time, or maybe this is the second or third video that you're watching, I just want to highlight that I am a writer, and I have written many, many opinion pieces, letters to editors and op-eds, both. I have written many opinion pieces that have been published in many newspapers across the country. And so if you want to read my published opinions, you can go to my website, tausifanam.net, and you can click on published opinions. What I'm going to do is post a link here. And George, I hope you're going to check this out. The link that I just published, my writings have appeared in many newspapers. So in Wisconsin, my writings have appeared in the Capital Times, Wisconsin State Journal, La Crosse Tribune, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, the Dodgeville Chronicle, and then outside of Wisconsin, my writings have appeared in USA Today, Boston Globe, the Western Journal, Washington Examiner, Washington Times, am I missing any? Chicago Tribune, and so my writings have appeared in numerous publications. Okay, so please check out my website, check out all the different things that I've written, not only on my blog, but also, as I mentioned, my opinion pieces that have been published in newspapers across the country. So, New York Post is another one, and also New York Daily News. So, you can go check out all my writings, go to my website. And, George, thank you um, for spending your valuable time this afternoon by watching my video. I understand you don't agree with a lot of the things I said, but that's the beauty of being an American. We can have a conversation, we can exchange information, we can have a dialogue. We don't have to agree with each other, but we can still have a conversation. So I appreciate your input. You can disagree with me, I can disagree with you, but I appreciate the fact that you spent your time watching my video this afternoon. And I hope you'll come back and watch other live streams. And please also check out the other published videos on my YouTube channel. I've been I've been publishing videos for many months now. Actually, I opened this channel years ago, but I started posting videos and doing live streams regularly. Sometime I started doing live streams this year. I started regularly posting videos last year. Um, and also, George, not only do I do solo live streams, and this is, a message for everyone who's watching, not only do I do solo live streams, but I've also had more than a dozen guests on my channel, including elected officials. So if you want to check out some of the other live streams that I've done with guests, you can do that. And I'm just going to tell you who some of the guests were. So I won't be able to mention everyone's names. I think I'm trying to go through the list. I had a state senator from Wisconsin, State Senator Andre Jacques. He came and did an interview on my channel. And then I had Stacy Klein, who is a candidate for Wisconsin State Senate from the western part of the state. She came and we had a great conversation. State Representative Shay Sortwell, he's from northern Wisconsin area, from the Green Bay area. He came and we had a great conversation, almost 1 hour, 30 minutes long conversation we had. It was great. David Varnum, he's a former mayor of Lancaster, and he also ran for lieutenant governor here in Wisconsin. He and I had a great conversation, live conversation on this channel. I had State Representative Barbara Dietrich from Wisconsin. We spoke for nearly an hour about a variety of important issues. Rebecca Witherspoon, who is an elected official at the local level. She's a village trustee in DeForest, Wisconsin. She's running for Wisconsin State Assembly. So she and I also spoke for more than 1 hour, 30 minutes. We had a great conversation about a number of issues. And, other guests. I've had other guests. Stephanie Socek from the Republican Party of Wisconsin's executive committee. She and I had a great, live stream, a conversation, back in June. So you can go and check out all those videos, okay? And let me know your thoughts. So thank you once again. Thank you, George. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Delta DJ, and all the others who tuned in this afternoon for this live stream. I hope you'll subscribe and stay connected, and tell your friends, tell your family members, tell your neighbors about my channel, and ask them to watch my videos, okay? Thank you, my friends. I'll be back again with another live stream. There will be lots to discuss between now and November, and even beyond November. So thank you once again, and I appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful evening.